Hello, welcome to the Craft Channel. My name's Corinne Brad and I love oven gloves. They are really, really handy. These are a pair that I've made specially for Sew Magazine. But if your oven gloves are anything like mine, I have a really nasty habit of leaving them on the side of the stove and they catch fire and then they end up looking like this, which is a bit horrible. And I can assure you they are clean, but they just don't come up clean in the wash anymore. So I'm going to revamp them because they're still really good oven gloves. They're still really nice and thick, and I'm not going to throw them away because they're still useful. What I am going to do is I'm going to recover them. Now, if you don't have a pair of Manky oven gloves, I will put a template in the description below so you can actually make yourself a brand new pair. But if you have, and you have lots of scrap fabric, like this bundle here, you can make yourself a scrap piece of patchwork. Now, we have done a video showing how to make just scrap blocks from pieces of fabric. Very, very simple to do. Simply fold them together, stitch them, open them, put another bit on them, stitch them, open them. Have a look for our scrap block tutorial. But make yourself a couple of pieces of fabric that are big enough to recover your oven gloves. And then grab your oven gloves and ideally, these are so old, they do just pull apart. Oh, or they did until then. Hold on a minute. Oh, I'm going to cut that bit of binding off. So you've now got two padded bits of fabric ready cut into templates, which is absolutely perfect for what we're going to do. So if you lay them, oh, get rid of all these bits. Oh, that's the colour that it used to be on the inside. If you lay them flat, please don't judge me by the state of my oven gloves. I am actually quite a clean and hygienic person. I just don't ever throw anything away. Lay them flat, take your piece of scrap patchwork fabric. Actually, I'm going to use that edge. Oh, before I do anything else, I am just going to sew that loop back into place. Otherwise, I'll forget and it will all go horribly, horribly wrong. So, bear with me a moment. Right. Now I've got a bound edge on here. Now what you can always do is you can rebind it if you want. If you're lazy like me, you can simply take your piece of material and then fold up this edge and pin it along the edge of the binding, like so. And it's quite easy just to fold it so it fits to the curve. And then I'm just going to top stitch that to the oven glove, taking the pins out as I go. And then lay your glove wrong side up, pop a couple of pins in it to keep that recovering or the recovered fabric in place. And what I've done is I'm going to use white top stitch thread, but I've put a coloured thread in the bobbin because you're going to be working upside down. And I'm going to retrace the quilting lines on this oven glove on my machine. So I'll set the stitch length to about 3 and simply follow those lines along to secure the fabric nicely in place. Now, I'm not going to quilt the whole thing, but I am just going to show you, oh, apart from the fact my needle's just come unthreaded, bear with me 1 second. Thank God for sewing machines with needle threaders on them, because otherwise you'd be waiting 5 minutes for me to actually find the hole of the needle. And I've just pulled it out again because I'm an idiot. That's what happens when you cut your threads too short at the end of the stitching. If you're not careful when you take that first stitch, the take-up lever pulls the thread straight out of your machine. Nearly did it again. And if you're clever, you can just follow the lines of the quilting in one continuous movement. You realise I'm only doing that so that I don't have to keep cutting the threads at the end of it and risk it coming unthreaded. But as you can see, you've got a nice coloured quilt mark, and once you've quilted all of it and trimmed your fabric to the same size as your oven glove, you will have 2 pieces of fabric that look like this. And then all you need to do is sew them back together again. Now what I've done is I've zigzagged around the edge of these. I've used about a 4mm wide zigzag stitch, which is about 3mm long, just to make sure that it doesn't all fray on the inside, because you know it's never nice when you get bits of fluff under your fingernails. Simply pair them up right sides together. I'm going to clip these because they are now too thick to pin. I've got numerous bent pins where I've tried to go through layers of fabric that really can't cope with a pin. But these little plastic sewing clips are quite handy. And they have a flat bottom and a rounded top, so that when you put them in, they do go over the bed of your sewing machine quite smoothly without getting caught. And then, as I say, just stitch them together. Now, you're going through several layers of fabric now, including wadding. So take it easy. If your machine really doesn't want to do it, stop. If your needles are too blunt, you will struggle. And if you have to stop, try and stop with the needle in the fabric. If you stop with the needle at the top, when you then go to do it again, it's got to take that much more force to push it through the fabric. At least if it's in there, when your motor goes again, it's coming out and it's getting the momentum up to get back down in that fabric with ease. Oh, let's just move those. Go around your curve. And then stop at the junction of your hand and your thumb. Before carrying on around the thumb piece. One thing it is always very important to remember, especially when you've got fabric that is this thick, is make sure that your presser foot is down. Because as you can see, or you may not even be able to see, I'm lifting it up and down. It's making no perceptible difference to the height of that foot. The number of times I've set the machine going without putting the presser foot down, and if you don't do that, your tension's not engaged and everything goes haywire and your thread, oh, I've got that down here. Your threads go everywhere. It makes a real mess of your work. And if you're not aware of what happens, you'll be sitting there thinking, oh my God, I've broken my machine. But you haven't. You've just simply not put the foot down. And there you go. Just move them out of the way a minute. Make sure that you clip this bit here. You might have to do this in a couple of snips. So these are servo cut scissors. They will cut through carpet. They are so good. And then turn it inside out, which is going to be easier said than done. But at least it's big enough that you can get your whole hand inside it to get those curves out properly. God, I'm going to break a few more nails trying to do this one. And this is really why I wanted to recover these gloves, because they are nice and thick. Oh, some stray threads there. The gloves that I've made especially, I actually made with some old towels as the lining for it, because I don't normally hold on to things for too long. God, this is tough. There you go. But especially if you're bringing things in from the kitchen, you know, say it's Christmas dinner, you're bringing the turkey in, it's come straight out of the oven, although you should have rested it for a little while before you carve it, but it's still hot. You want something nice and thick. So if you've got a favourite pair of oven gloves and they just look so shabby and horrible, you're going to throw them out. Don't. Just revamp them. Turn them into something nice and bright. Or, as I say, we'll have a template in the description below so that if you don't have any old oven gloves and you're making them from new, you can just make your own in exactly the same way, but with layers of liner, wadding, and then your patchwork on the top. So I'm hungry now because all I've done is talk about oven gloves today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll join us soon for some more and subscribe to our channel to make sure that you see every new video that comes up. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks very much. If you've been inspired to create, please share your makes with us in the comments section below. And if you've enjoyed videos by the Crafts channel, hit the like button. Want to see more of us? Then click subscribe. See you next time.